right, so my argument is very important. It's unavoidable. I'm someone who was looking for the highest love. No way, no how did any man from my generation, who had any sense at all, believe that all love was equal. It's insane. It's propaganda for little kids who are in a communist nation or something. I was looking for the highest form of love, and it had to come from a passion for God and good. My argument made that clear my whole life. When I was talking to people about who I am, having to explain I'm from the middle of nowhere in a small town, would put me at a great disadvantage. So I had to begin with a background. How did I get here? Who am I? Right? Like God revealed himself to Moses. I am who I am. So instead of, hey, just think of me as another guy who lives in the middle of nowhere, let me tell you who I am so that you know that I'm capable of love more than other guys and they have a more intense passion. My dad came here during the Nigerian Civil War after being caught by the enemy, and the CIA put him on the plane, as the story goes. He came here without a penny, worked his way up through medical school, working odd jobs, sleeping at train stations, okay, to be a brain surgeon. To be a brain surgeon during a very racist time in American history. The civil rights movement had sparked a lot of intense hatred across the nation, and Detroit was one of the main Klan strongholds. There were race riots in Detroit, where 10,000 white people at one point marched down the street looking for black people to beat up. He became a brain surgeon in that area, when Detroit was the murder capital of America. There's no words for the difference between this brain surgeon and every other one. This is an African, not Ben Carson, not someone familiar with America. He speaks English as like a fourth or fifth language. He spoke Hausa and Igbo and Fulani and so on and so forth. Fourth or fifth language or so. He came here, beat them in their own language, became a brain surgeon with a vast amount of knowledge. Okay, from a royal family. But that part I wasn't aware of back then. He kept that from me. I don't know why. Later on, he would tell me. And this guy is a big guy. He's 6'4", around 250 pounds plus, cutting into people's heads with big arms, big hands. Tools made for white people with small hands. Cutting into their brains. Removing tumors, and so on and so forth. This guy gave away $300,000 of free service a year to the community, to kind of help them understand the kind of loving and profoundly divine family that I came from was an important part of it. So when I seek my rightful place in society, what is my inheritance, genetically, morally, spiritually? How can any woman miss that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? There's no cockiness, just truth. This is the story. This is the truth. Let's look at my martial arts style. And I'm going to put this picture again at the end of the video. Was this about 3:30? Okay. You see me outmaneuver somebody who's an inch taller than I am and strike him surgically in this picture I will display. There's a lot of pictures I've taken that show my body type. When I lean back to lift up my long legs, okay, to do a kick, okay, these legs are long, okay, I'm tall, I'm about 6'4", and I have long legs, okay. Being a small guy with little legs, flicking up, it's like flicking your finger like this compared to being a tall guy with these long legs. And certainly if someone in the NBA tried to, like the guy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or whoever who fought Bruce Lee in the Game of Death, if he tries to move those big-ass legs against me, I'll easily outmaneuver him, and I can cut the distance and outmaneuver him and strike him, right? Being tall is not the determinant. It is a combination of features. DNA backwards is and. That has been forged to the top martial artist line in the heart of Africa, the pressure cooker. This isn't a bunch of cartoon characters, Mickey Mouse going like this, acting like bitches. These are straight killers. Debo from Friday with a scar across his face times 10. Hausa, Yoruba, Fulani. These are the most dangerous tribes on the planet in natural combat. They forged this guy, and when the smoke cleared at some point, thousands of years ago, Igbo is the king tribe. Obi backwards. Obi means king. That's not what Fulani means. That's not what Yoruba means. That's not what Amhara from Ethiopia means. These might be great people, but that's not what their tribe means. My tribe is the king tribe. And Aries' cult center is the cult center of God who came down in spirit. And in the spirit of the martial art warrior, laid down this tribe and forged for God, forged war shape and worship. Boom! And you know them by their works. Who can compete with this works of my father from his generation? He came here as a refugee. He outsmarted all the refugees in the world and outperformed them morally and mentally. Inventing something means nothing compared to what he has done. Put it in perspective. And I rose with pure moral brilliance while everyone else was acting like a fool because they lacked courage. Corazon, la cour, the heart. Courage. Core. The core of humanity. The core alpha, corazon. How could you miss that? How could any woman miss that? All women are guilty of not prioritizing the way, the truth, life, love, or righteousness, or any martial art principle. I'll put them at the end. Will, determination, discipline, okay, focus, concentration, all those principles they don't care about. They have a princess complex and they're social norm fanatics. They're fanatically enforcing social norms with their mall rat-like cowardice and the various cultures that are allowed. That's why in 1 John 2:15, do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. Proverbs 28:23, again, I tell you, whoever rebukes a person will in the end gain favor rather than one who has a flattering tongue. Psalms 119:100. I have more understanding than the elders, for I obey your precepts. In Proverbs 1, King Solomon, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Well, I didn't put the rest of Proverbs. Also in Proverbs 1, I think it's 119, it talks about how they're fools for ill-gotten gains. Okay, Proverbs 1:17-19. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. These men lie in wait for their very own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. Okay? Everyone else is an ill-gotten gain, refuse to obey God type of person. Where I know God because I obey these principles. I walk the way. I live the truth. I don't deal in political party line propaganda or new age or controlled opposition propaganda. I live the truth. I have the true life. And I deal in righteousness and cultivating righteousness and love. And though anyone who's honest who watches my videos can testify that I speak with heart, that I speak the truth, and that I man up, and that I have $4,000 4-year martial art challenge for those of you who've been watching my videos for years. I challenge them, all of them, and I'm targeted for my bravery with 19 witnesses. That means these massive corporate networks that include martial art networks were aware of my challenge and knew nobody could beat me, or they would have beat me if it was possible, and would have said, hey, he's not the top martial artist, don't look up to him. Because one of the main emphases in what they're doing is to make it so that people don't look up to me. So let's get to the point. Kind of like the point of martial arts, point sparring, point of life, point of reference, okay? To outmaneuver someone and strike them. That's the point of martial arts. And martial means to order. Martial and marital are connected. It's just the word scrambled. Pharaoh, fair reproductive cycle. What is just and what is fair? Proverbs 1. King Solomon. Are you to say King Solomon in Proverbs 1 wasn't wise? That you know better than Solomon if you're a Christian? If you are to say that you do not know better than Solomon, or that you agree with him, then you must agree that society is foolish for not doing this, and women are insane for not prioritizing the way, the truth, life, justice, love, righteousness, and the martial art principles. When you take on an opponent, one must say, who is he, mind, body, soul, and spirit? Again, Moses, God revealed himself to Moses, I am who I am. People who think in the box are easy to outmaneuver. Okay? You're the normal kind of, I'm going to throw hook punches kind of guy. You're the normal, hey, I'm a black belt, I learned certain techniques. You're the average black belt, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance in hell. You know, I eat average black belts for breakfast. They don't think deeply enough. Okay? They're simple-minded. They need to expand their horizons. Horus on the horizon. Haru rising. Horus rising. Horizon. False pride is another one of their problems. They're playing themselves out. Misleader. If you do not have the top martial arts leading you, you have a misleader. He's acting like a bitch who won't obey God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And accepting that the top martial artist is his representative before, and I'm the last valid one because of technology, is a basic part of understanding how to obey God. Again, it goes back to Psalms 119, 100. I have more understanding than the elders, for I obey your precepts. The elders do not obey God through me, so they don't understand anything. They don't know the first thing about God. They don't know the first thing about martial arts, and that's obeying God's representative. That's obeying the top martial arts. Martial means to order, to arrange. So they don't know the first thing. They're nowhere near my understanding. The difference between being someone who lives it and a scientist who analyzes. This is why he's right. Talk about body structure and so on and so forth. And chemical levels and so on and so forth. It's a scientist analyzing the technical details versus living it. Obeying God, the moral code. Be honest with yourself is a part of it. I took on my big brother who's stronger than I am, about my height, right? Courage to face adversity. In the mud, to reduce my footwork, which gave me the natural advantage. One of the things that gave me the natural advantage. I'm running out of time. There's a lot of things going through. It's annoying as hell. Okay, YouTube, fuck you for that. Your bitches, fuck YouTube. Everyone say fuck YouTube for limiting my videos. Fuck Big Brother for limiting my videos to 15 minutes. So anyway, so the game of chess is like a sword fight, right? You must think first before you strike, is what has been said in some martial art movie, and of course they're right about this. All right. So how people relate to each other is a part of it. How they work out. The ability to accept correction. Part of the reason why they're nowhere near as good as I am, because they refuse to obey God. They refuse to be righteous. They refuse to accept my correction. Martial arts is going to end with a bunch of rebellious ninnies who refuse to accept the top martial arts correction. And one of the main lessons he taught is that you're not even martial artists if you don't obey him. They refuse to accept these elephant in the room type corrections. They're not martial artists. All right. So we must consider the moral direction, the opening. When I find an opening, I'm finding an opening in a world full of people with complexes and saying that in the heavens is a symbol and the source, the core of righteousness. The symbol of the core of righteousness is the sun. That's God saying to you, hey, when you're doing the right thing and you're obeying God, but you haven't quite nailed it, you feel a certain kind of Holy Spirit. As you start to nail it with humility and honesty and being honest with yourself, being humble enough to accept who you are, even if other people think they're cocky. That's one of the highest forms of humility. Okay, and then to find the core of that spirit. Okay, so I'm finding the opening, I'm finding the core. And of course, this picture I'm going to put on the screen. Damn it, I'm out of fucking time. I have to make a part 2. That pisses me off more than you know. Anyway, the evil energy in the opening of heaven. Spirit, right? Spar I. The T is the feminine suffix. It can be removed. Spar I. Spirit, interchangeable vowels, vowel to L. Sign, right, scrambled, is Sin G. G is the earth deity, Ki. Look it up in Roman culture. Look it up in Sumerian culture. Okay, in Sumerian mythology and so on and so forth. Okay, Sun, G, Sin, G, Sun, as in your child, G. Dragon again, G, red in, G, nerd, gay nerd. Okay, of course, gay is a kind of energy, right? First and foremost, forget whether a guy plugs someone in the ass or not. It's not important, as it's a type of energy. Okay, it's a type of energy where they're not taking it seriously. Okay, look at her face, right? Is she in a serious warrior energy? No. Look at his face. He's on the back of a martial art magazine, or Key magazine, Tai Chi and Spirituality. Is he a serious warrior face? No. That's why they're in the dragon spirit, because they're not serious. Okay? This is being warrior. We talk about how to outmaneuver someone and gut them, as blood goes everywhere, and some people go into shock and start shaking like a kid. It doesn't help to start off with a repetition of being gay. Hey guys, hi. No. Whether you're straight or not, you accept that energy. You are not accepting the true martial arts spirit of God. You're a fucking nutcase if you don't understand that. Okay. So basically I have some pictures to put on. I have to end it here. It pisses me off.